Okay. And let's wait for this to go up. Cool. Is the video good? Cool, it is. And how's the audio? It's great. And let's copy this. Pop over to the D. At everyone. All right, what would you call this? Like some project management shit on Memories of a Spy. Okay, cool. Brilliant. All right, let's pop out the chat. Pop out chat. Okay, keep you up here. Okay. So today, what I'm working on is, I guess we could put this right here. Spreadsheet stuff, which is kind of an exaggeration, but also like not so much an exaggeration. Because what I'm actually doing is, let me see, how can I organize some of this? I guess I could put this right here. Like that. All right. And then that'll stay there. Cool. All right. So today I'm going to be filling out stuff in this spreadsheet, doing research for the level design and just general art direction of the game. So some of you might have heard that I have someone helping out on the project, Tubunar Studio. Tubunar, I think. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Tubunar Studio, or Studio Tubunar. And the way we work together is I have this spreadsheet set up where I make all these entries. I say where it is, like whatever city we're in the middle of, and the specific location. So this one is in Paris, and we have the flower stand, the grocery stand, the apartments, the cafe. And then in that category, you have which asset we need to make for it. And then the column after the asset, we have reference images. So that's just where I paste links in. And those are just links to images that they use to make all of the assets. So green equals it's finished, and blue means that I'm doing it. So anything in between is for them to do. And I put some notes in here. So in this one, it's like the pastry display cabinet. Wow, I did not even spell that. Pastry, I mean, it's done, so it doesn't even matter. Display cabinet. And then I have these two images in here. So I would open up this one and this one. They would see this, and then they make the asset based off of that. And then also I have a note here. So I say, okay, screw the small one, just do the large one. And then the espresso machine, I say, do the classy one. So that would be this one. Yep. And that's what they made. So they made, well, they didn't make this, obviously, right? But they made a model after this image, based on this image. So we're about to finish our first month of working together, and it's going swimmingly. It's going really well. And it's a nice pace. They're giving me just enough to work with. And like I said, in other streams, it's like they're only doing the modeling, and then I take it. I might make some tweaks. Sometimes they're good right out of the gate. Most of the time they're good right out of the gate. But, you know, every now and then I make some tweaks to it. I adjust some of the geometry, and then it's all on me to do the texturing stuff. So I do all the texturing, and then I put it into the world. So we're in the middle of working on Paris right now, but a lot of the assets for Paris are already finished. And so, in fact, what I could do is I'm going to hop over to Blender for a second and open up Paris. And you'll see that here I have a bunch of stuff this is stuff I made way back in Cinema 4D, but I just actually recently opened it up and put it in Blender, and then I actually redid some of the textures, because before I used to have I made these modular assets to make the world, right? And then I would have to duplicate them. So I do this, and then I would put them next to each other, and I'd kind of organize them like this in Unity, right? And I would, if I wanted to make a whole long section of wall, I would have to duplicate this over and over and over again, right? But that is a very inefficient way to work. And yeah, I could do something that combines all the geometry into one mesh at runtime, but I actually prefer working in sort of like a more intentional workflow, something where I kind of there's a little less wiggle room. I would have to do more work to make changes, but it's in the end the workflow sort of leads me to have to do some like programming stuff, or to do less programming stuff. So what's cool now is now I have, instead of duplicating this, I can actually use a different texture that I just made, and now I can stretch this out, and it just duplicates that texture according to that UV. So the UV doesn't get all stretched out and wonky, and now I could just have one object for one long piece of wall. And so you can imagine that this method could be applied to anything else where textures can repeat, any tileable textures. So you can imagine this couch, if I wanted to make it shorter or longer, that I could just stretch it out, and all these little cushion texture parts would just duplicate accordingly, instead of having to re-UV it every time. That sounds so weird to say, but re-unwrapping it every time the UVs change. So I'm actually just going to change that back to this because I'm not going to use it just yet. And yeah, so the reason I came into this Blender file though is to check out some of the assets that I've already made, like this lamp and stuff. And oh man, look at that's back in the day when I used to do stuff like these would be two separate objects, right? Like the bay. Oh, this is even three. So I would have that, this, and this, and that's a lamp. Not the way to do it. I mean, I would model it this way, and then before exporting the FBX, I would end up combining them into a single mesh sometimes, but very often I'd even import them like these three. So yeah, I just need to take sort of inventory of what we have here. So we have a bookshelf, some books, long couch, medium couch, several different variants of this table. Actually, it's just these two variants of the table. We have a coffee table and a slightly larger side table. Then you have a dinner table, and then you have a chair, and then you have the lamp, okay, dresser drawers, and of course each of these has movable drawers on the inside. What else? We have this whatever ceiling light right here. This is, what would you call this? The lobby interior wall. Okay, so this is the lobby of the apartments. Interior wall, okay, interior wall. And what else? Okay, got these, the doors to the balcony. And got the balcony piece itself. You see, and like even back then, it's like I made a separate balcony piece, and it's just, it would make more sense if I just made the whole damn building. So there's that. Okay, got that exterior wall lamp, which is actually a very similar mesh to this. It's just kind of inverted and retextured. That's the interior wall lamp. You can see there's some trickery going on there. Okay, these doorknobs and stuff are still good. I should honestly just take this doorknob and put it on other doors as well. Also, big thing that I'm learning too is like this Parisian door is very inaccurate. After living in Paris for a minute, I've learned my lesson that actually often it looks more like this. There would be a doorknob right there, and then you'd put your key in there. And this wouldn't really turn. This is just a pull. So there's some weird things I'm gonna have to adjust. Another thing too is that like if I hop over to OBS for a sec, I have this. So I'm sure some of you have seen me working on in this fat notebook before for level layouts and stuff like that. And today's no different. I'm gonna kind of be referring to this here and there. Maybe not so much actually if I'm doing mostly. I don't know, but you know, I'm drawing by hand all these different variations of how I want to lay out the city, because I'm actually not so sure about the old city layout. And let me see if I have. Yeah, like this is what I used for London's MI5. I'm Faded says, wow, looks good. What's up, I'm Faded? Are you totally faded right now, though, Fu? Thanks. Yeah, it's not looking bad, right? Looking okay. So I'm actually going to be able to kind of just, take it easy and focus on the sort of asset reference image stuff today, which is nice to kind of not have to worry too much about. I don't know. Maybe this is it. It becomes its own sort of set of challenges as well when you're doing research and art direction stuff. Okay, so got these bushes. Got this cafe. This is interior and exterior. Yeah, got the table. Okay, so we got a handful of things. I'm gonna zoom out just so I can kind of look at it at a glance if I ever need to. Let's see, what's a good angle? Just so I could tab over and glance at the project here and there. Maybe something like... there's just so much. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is take out all this stuff and we're gonna go through some of these locations. So the big thing that I'm actually faced with right now, and also this is an interesting thing to go over too, is that if you've seen the last devlog, the devlog number 5, the one where I go to Paris and everything, the lesson learned recently is that I work really well once I kind of paint myself into a corner, and I kind of feel more inspired once I've already sort of like made decisions that are closer to the final thing. Placeholder shit can just drag on forever and ever. It's from that Brendan Chung GDC talk where he's just like, he makes the final art asset, and that kind of sort of pressures him to make more final decisions and then he says, before you know it, the level is done. And he's mostly talking about like level design, and I guess that's kind of what I'm doing here, but I'm applying that logic to the whole game. So, in other words, what I'm going to be doing today is making some full-blown, broad brushstroke, big picture game design decisions that will be sort of made around the art direction of the game. And what I mean by that is, if I'm choosing what's going to be in Paris right now, the main thing on my mind is which locations are going to be in Paris, because I'm certain I want the cafe. The cafe is a no-brainer. Of course, we'll have that. But I haven't been able to decide whether or not I want to do this flower stand, the grocery stand stuff, as like additional things, or if I want to give it its own separate place. The logic that I've been working off of in the game is that each city has 2 distinct sort of interior locations, and then one sort of bigger outdoor public location. So, and then thirdly is I should say this, is that every city has sort of stores or retail place, commerce, 2 of those. So, for example, in DC, we have the Manupidi Lounge, which is like a bar and lounge. And then you have the library, which isn't commerce, but it's a place that you go to get things and kind of has its own little operations, right? So it's a bar and a library. And then London has a bar and the record shop, right? The pub and the record shop. Paris is the one that's in dispute right now. Berlin has the movie theater and the bar. And then in Morocco has more. This one's sort of an anomaly, but that's also because Morocco in general won't really operate like the rest of the places. And then Moscow, I don't have stuff in here. Moscow is gonna have this mall that might have a bunch of smaller places. So they all have like at least a couple of commerce things, right? Or I'm lumping library in with commerce. But then the other thing that they all have is a place, living quarters. So for DC, you have the Consulate Inn. That's a motel that you can rent rooms at. And then in London, you have all of the flats. There's all these apartments that you can go stay in as well. And then in Paris, you also have apartments. In Berlin, you have a hotel. Morocco is going to have a cheap hotel and a fancy hotel. And in Moscow, there will also be a hotel. So that's the two categories, right? You have like the sort of commerce-y place, and then you have the living quarters place. And the thing that I guess Moscow is similar with Paris in this way, because I'm actually not totally sure what I'm going to have in Moscow yet either. But I think in Paris, I'm wondering if I should keep the pattern of like two places, right? So if I have a cafe and a jazz bar, or the cafe and a restaurant. Two-sided games. What's up, Two-Sided Games? How's it going? I'm just going over I'm trying to, brainstorm the logic behind my level design right now. So it's like the question is, do I have the two places? Do I have Le Café Oubli and, another restaurant or a bar or something? Or do I do the cafe and then several little things sprinkled in? So I could, because I'm kind of thinking about it as like a work management thing where I don't want to have to make a bunch of different stores. It's very easy to just put down on paper, then I'll make a restaurant, and then I'll make a this, and then I'll make a that, and then that's just a ton of fucking work. Dio, what says, sup? What's up, Dio? How's it going? Two-Sided Game says, my mom says I'm getting a Mac Mini tomorrow. Right on. Nice. Yeah, I've thought about getting like a small Mac, or like a just a mini Mac at times, just for a Mac Mini, or like an AirBook or something. What are they called? MacBook Airs. For compatibility stuff so I can actually test a thing. Can always install a Mac OS on this. Or actually, could I? I might not have the proper components for this, but yeah, it would be good to have a Mac just to do testing if I wanted to port to Mac OS, make sure my games run smoothly on other operating systems. Similarly with Linux. Cool. So yeah, right now it's like, do I, virtual machine, right. Do I have the cafe and then several little places, like a little flower stand, a little grocery stand, and then even on La Seine, I could put the newsstands and the kiosks, like the book kiosks. I forgot what those are called, but or do I nix all the little ones and just put in a full grocery store that uses all of those things? And the more I look at like the big picture of this, I think I'm gonna make the decision to. Skinny Bandit says, "Hey, what's up, dude? How we feeling tonight?" I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited to see sort of how Paris takes shape today, because I have a feeling that there's going to be some sort of new places in Paris that I haven't totally thought about before, and so I'm inspired. I'm excited to see what I come up with, hopefully within the next few minutes, honestly, because I need to make that decision so I can actually start filling in these slots on the assets and art direction spreadsheet stuff. So I can start looking for photos. That's the fun part. How are you doing, Skinny Bandit? Two-Sided Game says, I was running High Sierra on VirtualBox. Masterfu says, if it runs, it runs. Mac users should know what they're getting into. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I would want to do tests, I would want to, like, getting an old MacBook isn't totally out of the question. It's not priority, I don't, like, people with Macs aren't the ones that are doing all the gaming, so it's not priority. But, every now and then I go like, oh yeah, like, it'd be good to just do tests, just to have it on the side. So Two-Sided Game says, sorry, can't hang with you, gotta go see you. All right, yeah, have a good one, man. Hope you're getting well. COVID sucks, bro, but I'm sure you sound like you're doing okay. Masterfu said, absolutely, I was joking. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's half a joke though, right? Because I can't prioritize the people who aren't really going to be the main, they are not the demographic. People who buy MacBooks are, I don't know what they're doing, to be honest, making travel videos or something. No beef with the Mac community or anything. It just, yeah, it's like, yeah, whatever. I won't be testing Mac for my game, but it's VR, so VR and Mac is a can of worms I'm not trying to muck with. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is like they're not doing these things. Like those aren't the people that are even involved with all this shit. And I'm sure there are people who are. Of course, there's people playing games on their Mac, but they're the edge case. They're not, unfortunately, I can't cater to the handful of people. It would just be a waste of time. So the question is, oh God, I guess I do kind of got to look at this thing, because a lot of my decision will be wrapped up in whether or not I like some of these layouts. And where is this layout? Here it is. Let me see. Skinny Bandit says, I'm pretty chill, just fooling around Playmaker, and somehow things work out. Nice to see you live, though. Oh, right on. Cool. What are you making in Playmaker right now? I love horsing around. Today I made my first perfectly functioning and actually useful custom action. Because I had a 2-hour session with Jean Fabre this morning on webcam, and he showed me how to make custom actions. Where am I going? Oh, here we go. Okay, so just webcam. All right, so let's see. Okay, so these are all overlapping like fucking crazy. But here's one version. Oh, wait, no, this hand. Sorry, this is mirrored. So this is one version of the city layout. It's just this part right here. Don't pay attention to this, or don't pay. Sorry, this is so backwards. This stuff, don't pay attention to. Only this stuff. So I could have the cafe is on the corner of a building, and then I have the apartments to its left and right, which are sort of a triangle shape. And then I have these apartments and grocery store and apartments that are in between it. And then I have La Seine right here. This blue is water, so this is a bridge that crosses La Seine. And then this is the intelligence agent, the French intelligence agency headquarters. So I kind of like this, but the only thing the only beef I have with this one is that it doesn't preserve something that I really like, which is the long streets with the trees. There's not very many long streets the player would be going down, because you wouldn't be going down this street this way, because this is a dead end and this is a dead end. They're not dead ends, but they take you to the airport, so it's like you have no business really being over here or exploring over here unless you're going to the airport. And same thing with this street, and same thing with this street. This is so ass backwards because it's not mirrored. There's that one. And then this is the current one that I was on before, which is like, it's totally linear, where this is all just facade right here. Like this is just a fake building. And then the cafe's right here. And then the apartments are a part of the same building. And across the street, there would be apartments. And then the bottom floor would be, whatchamacallit, some other type of establishment, like a grocery store or something. And then here I was thinking, okay, you could have this as La Seine. So if you can imagine, let's see. You know what I could do is probably just do this. This might work out better. Let's see. Yeah, this works out okay. And I could even maybe... Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, this long one. The water is this part. Let me fill this in. Okay, so this is right here. Is this it? Yeah. So this is all water right here. And same thing with this. Okay, so this is the river area. The river runs that way and that way. And the bits in between are the streets. So if gray was the streets, I like that. And then this would also be street. And then this stuff would be like the buildings. Those two would be a building, and this would be a building. And I imagine that the layout for something like that would be something like, here's the cafe at the corner, and then it's a part of the same building as the apartments, and these are also apartments. And then the bottom floor though would be, so it'd be like apartments plus something like a grocery store or bar, something like that. And that's what I'm undecided on right now, is like how many places I'll have and what the place will be, whether it'll be a grocery store, a bar, a restaurant, etc. And then over here is the SDECE headquarters. So that's the French intelligence agency. And then this is a facade, right? It's just fake. This is just fake. So you can never really get past here, right? So this in cheaper games, this would be an invisible wall. Skinny Bandit says, simple shooter game, I guess, been trying to make enemies detach body parts once bullets hit them. Cool. I haven't done that yet. I've been curious about designing such a system myself. That seems like fun. Great art skills, by the way. Thanks. I can't tell. How many maps you got so far? Well, let me change this really quick. There we go. So far, there is two maps that are at their sort of like 80 to 90%-ish complete mark. Like they're ready to be thrown in Unity and get used. They're pretty filled out. That's DC and London. Paris is at its like 60% mark, and it's only there because that was the original one that I modeled a long time ago. Again, that's all of these assets, you know. But the thing is, like, I completely got rid of the modular version, so now I'm going to take those assets and sort of flesh them out into, you know, one of these things. So that's what all this is me redesigning the layout of Paris. So a lot of the assets are done for Paris. So that's kind of at the 60% mark, which is pretty much at the halfway point. The other three maps, Berlin, Morocco, and Moscow, those are at least gray boxed. So they all have their proportions and stuff. I have the buildings and walls and ground and where the park is and all that sort of stuff. That's all set up. But it's all gray box. It's all prototype grid stuff. So those have no art assets in it. It's all just big orange blocks. And that's kind of what I'll be doing within the next month or so. Okay, so let's see. How many maps you got so far? Solid. Yeah, we're on a roll. And seriously, with Studio Tubinar, I hope I'm saying that right. Studio Tubinar, with them on board, I'm feeling much more confident about hitting a really good date as far as like having all 6 cities done. I don't know if we're gonna have all 6 cities done by next month. I'm gonna bust my ass. We'll see how much they do. They do pretty good work. They work pretty fast. They're not slow. They're also not, finishing the whole game for me. They're not they're not a workhorse. They're not the magic bullet. They're also a human just like I am. So we're gonna try. We're gonna try to get this done as soon as possible. And okay, so that's kind of let's see, just webcam. So that's this one is the old one, kind of. It's the old one plus Lassen. This is what the map more or less used to look like. If you've ever seen the old streams, it was set up like this. It was one long street, and I would run all the way to the end to the headquarters, and the cafe was right there, and that was it. And what's cool about this is it preserves the whole thing where you can walk down the streets. And what I mean by that is this is sort of like, I'll even kind of make like a checklist so we can kind of get an idea. But what I'm really interested in is this. So this type of view is really important to me. Being able to look down the street and see the whole row of trees, right? And the faces of the buildings and all that stuff. I really like being able to look down a long street of trees, a boulevard. So that's kind of one of the criteria. It's one of the big criteria. The other criteria is that I don't want a bunch of superfluous space. I don't want players to be arriving. So let's make a list. I'll even, we could put this into something more tangible. So I'll just webcam, just so if you don't mind, I'm gonna actually, if it's just webcam, I'm gonna do this. How do you do this? Transform. Fit to screen. There we go. Okay, so if it's ever on my face, at least I'm not like. Sorry. So I'm gonna open up my notes, and I'll go to Memories of a Spy, and we will go into. We'll call this one. Okay, here we go. So I think you guys can see this now. Yeah. All right. So what I have here, I'm gonna call this like New Paris, right? And all right, I'm just gonna call it Paris because I'm gonna fucking not be able to. Paris level layout stuff. Okay. Now in Paris, I have my list of criteria, which is gonna be something like long street to see the trees, right? This is sort of an aesthetic thing. This is sort of a world building, give you a sense of space kind of thing. But it can't be no superfluous space, Don't want the player running around more than they have to. And then what else is an aspect of this? To have a variety of interesting places, right? So first we have the Café Oubli, and then wish list. It would be nice to have La Seine. We need the apartments, and then ideally we have. Let's put it like this. I think the layout, the way I can sort of justify this to myself is its public space, right? Because that's something I want. And then the apartments are living quarters. And then, is that how you spell quarters? Living quarters? Living quarters? Definition? That's how you spell it, huh? Okay. Okay, so we have apartments with living quarters, Le Café Oubli. This is sort of the commerce number one. Or I should call this like public commerce number one. Because I at least want two. So I'll say we have public commerce number 2, and this is the one that I do not have yet. So this is a value that needs to get filled out. If I turn this into a little checklist, that means I have this, and this, but not this one. So what? I'll write out the pros and cons of other things down here. So possible locations for public commerce number 2. So the first one is a restaurant. The second one is a jazz bar. The third one is a bakery. The fourth one is a grocery store. And let's see. Can I kind of feel like, I kind of want to browse through some of these just to get a feel of what would be nice. bookstore is kind of redundant. I'm gonna have could be a bookstore. Are you gonna add some cars driving around the city too? Absolutely, most definitely. Gotta add the cars putting around in. I can't wait for that. I can't wait to have cars and NPCs just walking around doing their thing. I've had the NPCs randomly walking around the cities before, but never in a fully designed city, so I can't wait for that. Or even just with activities, they were just kind of getting there and hanging out at the bar. Because I used to only have, the Manu PD Lounge, the bar. Oh, another thing I need to do. This is a bit tangential, but I also need to make the character mesh for the feminine figures, because right now I only have one for the masculine. So basically, right now I can't make any textures that are dresses or skirts. I can only make things that are like shorts or pants because of where the leg gap is in my character model. So I need to make something soon because look how awesome these fucking clothes are. I mean, I guess these are shorts, but being able to put them in cool dresses and actually have feminine characters in the game. I'm hesitant to just say women, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I mean, that's so good. You know, like this looks great. This is Champs-Élysées. That's the name of the street. This isn't exactly what I want because I don't want the super wide highway. I mean, street. Very nice. Yeah, I'm so stoked to put this stuff in. This is okay. Okay. So I'm gonna keep that there. And I have to make a roll-in. I just have to make a decision. Oh, fuck. Restaurant, jazz bar, bakery, and grocery store. Here's what we'll do. I'll do the pros and cons of each of these. Restaurant. Pros. So many subcategories. Pros. Cool as fuck. Right. Just cool as fuck. You know what? I'm just gonna write notes for it. I won't even do this. I'll do like Frank Reynolds says, "How's it going? How's it going, Frank?" I'm doing pretty good. I am. I'm figuring out the establishments of Paris, the buildings, the locations. Because right now the only thing I'm 100% certain about is the cafe, the apartments, and the agency headquarters. I'm not sure about the other ones right now. So it needs to either have a restaurant, a jazz bar, a bakery, or a grocery store, or some combination of those in which they're much smaller. So I want to pick like this. The restaurant, there's no getting around. This is just a big one, right? This is a big one. Should do by itself, right? No additional spots, no additional places. Okay, that's sort of one of the criteria of this. If I do the restaurant, I'm not going to do a jazz bar, a jazz bar, bakery, or grocery store. If I do a jazz bar, I mean, it's the same thing. It's like also a big one. Let me see if this might apply to all of them. Bakery, I guess. You know what? To be fair, they're all pretty big. But the thing that stands out to me is that the grocery store could be a grocery stand, right? So this one doesn't need to be big. The grocery store could be a small thing. Skinny Bandit is drooling. Was it because of Jizz Bar? Okay, so now that I'm actually confronting this, the fact is, if I do a jazz bar, a bakery, or a restaurant, they're all going to be a fucking pain in the ass. However, I also want all the locations of the game to have utility. And if I do a restaurant, right now that would be a redundancy over the cafe. So is redundant, redundancy, I can call this like redundancy of cafe, because you're going there for food and coffee, right? It's a very similar thing. Because at the cafe right now, you'll be able to get pastries and stuff. Same thing with the bakery, totally redundant, right? So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say bakery is off the list. What the fuck? Why can't I do a slash through? How do you do a slash through again? I completely forgot how to do. Is it like Alt 5? Shift 5? Nope. Huh. Here we go. Okay. Supermarket, my dude. Clean up on all the aisles. I like that. The grocery store I got stoked on because of, let me see. I'm going to do this really quick. Just webcam. If you'll excuse me while I open up my screenshots, reference images. Here we go. So I have, let's see, where is it? Ah, here we go. So this would be a big inspiration for, how can I make this? I'll move this. Or I guess, isn't there a full screen? Here we go. Yeah. So these are from Munich, and I really liked this kind of little grocery store. It doesn't have any aisles. It would be nice to have aisles though, because then that creates obstruction. It creates an interesting space for a character to sneak around in, for your target to sneak around in. And let's see. I think that was the only place with the grocery store. Kind of want to feel out some of these other places. Okay, cafe's right there. Definitely got to have this newsstand. That's going to be the type of newsstand I'll have there for sure. And I think the rest is, yeah, okay, don't have any of that stuff. Okay, so I'm going to put this back over here. Show. As I say, it might be a pain in the ass, but it'll be worth it. If I can, that's true. Yeah, a lot of these things are going to be a pain in the ass. But it's enjoyable. It's just a lot of work. You know, sometimes you've just been cranking on a thing all day, and it's like, it's not necessarily that it's a pain in the ass, but it's just a lot. And you go, ugh. You know, the displeasure comes from wanting to see the finished thing because it's all so cool. If I can't assassinate a target with a baguette in a French supermarket, I'll be a little disappointed. Yeah. Oh, you know, I'll do my best. That's totally on the docket for sure. By which, like, in which way the baguette will be your instrument of death. I might have different tastes than you, maybe. I don't know. Because when you say that, I imagine you're thinking bludgeon to death. I think that's kind of the obvious answer, right? I'm not sure if I'd have that, but I still would like very much also to kill somebody with a baguette. So rest assured, something along those lines will happen. Good to hear. That's all I ask. Yeah. So, right. Looking at these places, I'm kind of thinking bakery's off the list, right? Grocery store, it's a good contender, but let's weigh out the pros of a grocery store and a jazz bar. So for a grocery store, it's if it has aisles, then great sneaking place. for player and NPCs. You know, I love the idea of an NPC sneaking around the aisles of a grocery store. Baguette bazooka. Ah, you got me. That's exactly what I was thinking. The other thing about grocery stores is that you know, what their function would sort of imply is that you can also kind of like, there's a lot of things you can get at grocery stores, right? But the function of them mostly is kind of like food and stuff, right? You could say that maybe you get like health, you know, things to patch you up and stuff there. But it's mostly the food thing is a redundancy again. So this is kind of like food thing is cafe redundancy. It'd be a great place to stash things. Yeah, I mean, everywhere in the world would be a great place to stash things, like anywhere where you can have dynamic objects. So of course, like the, you know, putting things in under a little, what do you call it? A bunch of bananas, or a bundle, whatever, a little thing of bananas, or putting it in a box or something. It's good. But that is dicey too, right? Because then you have NPCs that come in and buy those products, and it's like, do they take the thing that you use to stash a thing? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, right. The dream is that some big studio sees the final game and goes, brilliant, here's way more money and a huge team to make another more advanced version of this. I would so put Italy in here, you know? Italy, Havana, and, Japan. That'd be so sick. So, okay. The food thing's a redundancy. Grocery stores becoming less appealing. I'm beginning to see myself selecting the jazz bar. The thing, okay, so off the top of my head, I'm going to come back and forth between these things, but the thing off the top of my head for the jazz bar is booze. There's no booze so far in this place. Though, to be quite honest, booze isn't really sort of I haven't really, like, thought about sort of why someone would be so inclined to get booze in the game. There's not much reward for booze at this point. Oh shit, Havana would be dope, right? Wouldn't that be so amazing? Wish list item. But for me, honestly, Morocco is scratching that itch for me. He said as he scratches an itch behind his leg. I am stoked to the fucking tits to design Morocco. I can't wait to start working on that place. Colorful buildings, cars with fins, a crippling embargo. Right. There's not gonna. Yeah. Fuck. Well, anyhow. Okay, so the redundancy of the cafe, blah blah blah. The jazz bar, booze. It's not a selling point for me right now. I have to be honest, even though it's like not a selling point. So this is why I've had so much trouble choosing what the secondary place is in Paris, is because a lot of these places to me either feel redundant or uninteresting, but mostly redundant. What else in the jazz bar? The jazz bar, you know what the big selling point for the jazz bar for me was live shows, because this is interesting both for vibes, and if target or player is in the band, I think that's really interesting. Can you imagine looking for your target, finding out that they're the trumpet player at the jazz bar? You could, if you're killing them or you're trying to kidnap, if you're kidnapping them and you are just trying to get information, then you really do have to wait for them to finish their set. Tony Hamilton, what's up, Tony Hamilton? How's it going? Morocco would be awesome. Marrakesh would be perfect. The narrow streets and the maze-like structure of old Marrakesh. I mean, I'm telling you, Le Petit Zoco, that is what I've designed it off of so far. I'm not even going to go because that's a fucking rabbit hole. I'll end up looking at so many pictures and shit of that. But Le Petit Zoco is that little sort of market area in Morocco, and it's such a cool location. I'm also kind of, honestly, to be honest, I am combining Marrakesh in there. It's a general sort of Tangier place, because all this shit is anachronistic, right? Not only anachronistic, but inaccurate. I'm taking liberties with spatial things, and so the shoreline and all the sort of westernized colonial shit where there's like fancy hotels where capitalism has completely taken over. It's going to be like right on the other side of a wall where all the other sort of more rundown and old traditional shit is. Just enjoying my day off. How are you? Great, cool. That's awesome. Fucking get it while it's good. Chill hard. How are you gonna enjoy what are you gonna do to enjoy your day off? Are you gonna make some stuff? Are you gonna play some stuff? Are you gonna get wasted? Are you gonna take a shot of tequila right into your eyeball? Cool. Days off are the business. Today's kind of feels like a day off for me too. I just finished a bunch of sort of official Hutong Playmaker stuff that isn't ready to upload yet, but I shot a lot of stuff, so now I need to chop it up. So today's kind of my day off too, in a way. And I am good. I'm okay. There's some things happening in my life, some sort of personal things that life can't always be perfect. But I'm thankful to sort of be around very healthy, stable human beings with a lot of loving and supporting people in my life. So even the most dramatic times of my life are manageable. So I'm doing okay. Like Vegas, yes, exactly. Memories of a Spy levels are like Vegas and postcards. It's the postcard Las Vegas version of the cities, And if you want to take it further, it's kind of like if somebody had a dream about a postcard of the Las Vegas version of the city. So there's a lot of liberties and a lot of really sort of inaccurate and impossible infrastructure choices. I'm playing Halo and doing game development. Right on. Halfway through a project, I realized that my 3D character's sprint animation was stuck in place. Halfway through a project, I realized that my 3D character's sprint animation was stuck in place. I'm not sure I know what you mean by that. I should post a little GIF or video in the feedback section of the Discord. Frank Reynolds says, I'm off the next 4 days. I'm going to continue working on the personal project, working on clouds. Yeah, how's that going, by the way? Are you taking like incremental, when you get to the end of this, first of all, you got to show us when you get to the end of the thing. I would love to see how the whole thing comes out, if you're comfortable with that. I realize it's also like a personal project. Maybe there's some sentiment that you want to keep to yourself with your grandfather and all that kind of stuff. But if you are feeling up to it, I would love to see that because you're hyping it up. It sounds so fucking cool. But also if and when you do show it, I would also love to see all the progress of it, what it looked like before, what it looked like at the start, and so on. John Giro says, "Damn, OneNote notes looking huge." Oh yeah, OneNotes is the shit. So in case y'all didn't know, John Giro was the one who turned me on to OneNote, and it's just I fucking love this thing. I use it for so much shit now. Tony Hamilton says, glad to know you're doing okay. Keep it that way. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm hanging in there. Jazz bar. The live shows are good, right? Because can you imagine showing up and being like, oh, the guy I'm looking for, he's playing trumpet on stage, so I can't just go up and grab him or else that'll cause a huge commotion and it'll make my life a lot harder. So you have to like wait for him to kind of step down and maybe follow him out back or, whatever it is. Similarly, if if the player is in a band, like, I don't know how the fuck that's going to manifest, but like you're on stage and you're playing the drums or the trumpet or whatever, piano, then, you're exposed and you're calling so much attention to yourself. So that's kind of a cool thing. I do like the dynamics of the jazz bar. John Giro says heart. Big heart right here. This one's for the gallery, for the meme gallery. Skinny Bandit says, will a player going to have an option if they want to kill or kidnap the target? If so, what will the benefits be? Well, as of right now, the only times, like, the only two sort of situations I have is, like, if you have an assassination mission, then you kill the person, right? I do want to, as a wish list item, eventually come to something where you, like, make them disappear, as a sort of, like, a non-lethal way of passing the mission, so it's kind of like, the example that comes to mind is kind of like in Dishonored, but those are a lot of scripted things. In Dishonored, it's like your assassination mission, you could choose for some people to kind of like go hide away so the world thinks they're dead, kind of thing. And that's a common thing in a lot of spy movies, that it's really contextual. It's really like highly specific, like the sort of the details of what disappearing is or like the drama of it, the story of it is kind of, it's I haven't thought of a good way to make that happen, but so I would, to kind of put a lid on that, it's assassination missions for right now, you do just kind of have to fucking kill them. But as a wish list item, it would be nice to make them sort of say, hey, change your name and move to a different country or whatever. But the one thing that you do want to do is if you ever find a mole or a rival agent, then that is a different scenario, because then you would want to kidnap them. And the same way, if you guys ever tuned into the stream where I set up the system where you get kidnapped and then they pull you into the dark room and then the NPC comes up to you and you can't move and they interrogate you and shit. I want to do the reverse of that, where you could kidnap the NPC, take them to a dark room and interrogate them and, beat the living shit out of them until they give you information. In that situation, that would be when, like that's the example of, oh, you see them on stage. Cool. I don't want to kill them. I want to get information out of them while they're still alive, Yeah. Okay, so hold on. Kidnap the target for the benefits. Show. I have the explosions, the terrain, and the grass made. I also have the C-47, but I'm reworking it because I fucked up the geometry. Oh. Huh. Like a technical error when you say fucked up the geometry, or you just kind of, you're finessing just the design of it, like you just don't like how it came out to begin with. Tony Hamilton says, what I mean by stuck in place is he's doing the running man when press the sprint. Oh, I think I checked the box in place box. Well, I don't know how you're designing your thing, but typically you do want the in place box checked on Mixamo. Because, I mean, again, I don't know how exactly you're designing your game, but yeah, you want the animation to be still, right? Like, really quick. You want your animation to be still where your guy's doing that, right? Because what your other responsibility is to programmatically move him around. So you want it to be like when he's doing this animation with coding or, with Playmaker FSMs, with programming, that's what makes him actually move forward, or backwards or to the side or whatever. You don't want to bake in, because if you get the one where it is not that, where it's not just the instill one and the animation is actually him doing that, that's baked in now. And so there's not really much you could do with that to program it. So it's not, so you're on the right track, it sounds like, unless you're designing a completely different system, in which I don't understand. So Jazz Bar's looking good. But always fucking caveats. I don't like that the live show thing is my only sort of turn on with it. That it's the only sort of function. It's like it's hardly even a function. It's just sort of like it's a byproduct. So I guess I can ask the question, like, well, what is missing here? Yeah, I've been wanting to do a clothing store. Like, clothing can be a thing, but like, I don't know. Okay, so a restaurant, though. The thing that strikes me about a restaurant is that even though it's a redundancy for the cafe and you're getting food and stuff like this, it is more sort of emblematic. Is that the right word I'm looking for? Emblematic. Serving as a symbol of a particular quality or concept. Yeah. So there's a restaurant in Paris. A restaurant, period, is more emblematic, I think, of the spirit of whatever French culture. Because, you know, a lot of people, I mean, think about fucking Ratatouille, right? Like, a lot of this is the cartoon Las Vegas postcard thing. And for a lot of people, for the world, arguably, Paris is sort of directly tied to the culinary arts, right? So like a restaurant, a fancy Parisian restaurant. So that could be, you know, this is sort of like emblematic of culinary arts, or emblematic of Paris, honestly, or French culture, right? So that's a really big selling point on me. It just sucks that, like, okay, but yeah, what are they going to eat there? Like, you could do that at the cafe, you know. So still, the function kind of is weak for me. I really don't like the way it came out. I started working on the interior of the fuselage. They were flown with the doors open, so I want to have some visible interior. Oh, yeah. That would be cool. Yeah, don't you hate when that happens? That happened plenty to me. You model a thing, and it looks perfect outwardly, and then you remember it has an interior, whether it's a car, like a vehicle, a building, even a person, right? Like modeling a head without modeling the inside of the mouth, and then realizing, like, fuck, I have to change a bunch of shit because there's an inside of this. And that is where shit went wrong. Paris isn't Paris without cafes. Exactly. Paris isn't Paris without cafes. That is like the thing. I think second place is restaurant. Maybe even, actually cafes are first place. So second place is like restaurant. Jazz bar is the sort of niche second place. It's the cooler one. I think it's the cooler sort of symbol to follow, to run with. So if I could, I'm going to put function here is what, and function is what. So for these, if I'm going to give them my best shot at a function for the restaurant and for the jazz bar. And I think, so I've narrowed it down. It's at least going to be between a restaurant and a jazz bar. The grocery store is going to be a grocery stand. That's just going to go out by Listen. Next to like a fucking newsstand and stuff like that. That's very easy to do. The function of a restaurant. Let's look at some. I think I already did. Do I have? Let's see. Street corners. I think that's what all this is. Yeah. Artist square. Yeah, the art like an artist square, like seeing artists kind of out there doing their thing. That's more of like environmental decoration, where, you know, you'd put a guy on the bridge, you know, somebody overlooking La Seine doing a painting. This, Tony Hamilton said this what? So what is this? Is this a specific place? Place du Tarte. Place du Théâtre. Ah ouais, yeah. Right. Is this in Paris, or is this more countryside? feel like was I going here? You know, I don't think I went through here, or did I? I don't think so. I feel like I would have recognized all these people. No, I wouldn't have done that. That's kind of fucking interesting. Did they put this in Tantan? Frank, this is a good lead here. I'm gonna add it to this list, and now it's a contender. Okay, so place du théâtre. I don't know how do you fucking say that. Théâtre. I sent it to your DMs on Discord. It removed the link. Oh, I see. You said okay. Right. Let me see. Discord. Okay. Oh, it's the running in place thing. Okay, I'll check that out after the stream. Buoy, and Tony Hamilton. I was gonna say, you could throw it in the Unity help section. I just meant, put it in there. If you were stuck on something, maybe somebody can help out, and even myself after the stream. But maybe somebody can get to it before I do, because I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming for. Razor Edits. Good morning, sir. Formerly known as, I want to say, God, what was your name? I know that icon, the Doom guy icon, unless somebody else is using it, which is totally possible as well. But I feel like Razor Edits. Good morning, Razor Edits. Good morning. How you doing? Okay, so plus, you know what we're going to do? First of all, I'm going to learn how to say this because pronunciation. Chateau. Okay, well, this will give me the same word that I'm looking for anyway.
Videos that you should watch next inside Chateau du Théâtre tasting.
Théâtre. Okay, théâtre. Place du Théâtre. Okay. So what I want is some criteria for this. Some things that scare me about it is packing it with NPCs. Is scary. Hellish Razor, that's right. Right. Théâtre. Hold on, check this out. Three-fifths of a pancake and 1/10 of processed McDonald's egg. Now you got some bastard Franken taco. That is dry. That is fucking dry. So what are you making right now? Well, right now, excuse me, I'm like, my mouth is so dry with this fucking thing now. Panken taco. That sounds very German. Panken taco. Right now, I'm sort of sorting out my thoughts on the layout of Paris right now. Right now. Skinny Bandit says, are there going to be any small drivable vehicles, bicycles, etc., for example? That would be a nice way to move around quickly. Let's see. Well, those are wish list items. I was even thinking, like, do I do the cars thing? I'm not sure that you'll actually be able to use cars right now. Total wish list item. Bikes, haven't even thought about that, to be honest. And that's largely due to the fact that by design, the world should not be a place that you're going to be, wasting a bunch of time running around in. That they're going to be compact enough where you feel okay about running from place to place, but also not too small where, everything is just right in front of you, where it's not even a challenge to like find somebody. So it's, I hope to strike a balance with the scale where you wouldn't necessarily need any other additional mode of transportation other than the fast travel, which is kind of the only travel in the game. You have to take a plane to go to the other cities. So that's kind of the only other thing. I thought about metro stuff, but that's more of like, because I was thinking about making a mini game out of that. A whole separate conversation. I'm not even getting into that right now. True. Yeah, but that's interesting. I do like the idea of a bike, and I don't know, maybe the game scale will increase, at which point that could be interesting to throw in a bike or something like that. But the cars thing is a wish list item. I do like that idea of just being able to drive around in a car, because car chases and shit like that, so integral to spy movies, spy stories, whatever it is. But I was talking to people in a stream a while back. It's a hard sell for me though. Car chases. I haven't thought of a good, a pleasurable and appropriate way to make car chase stuff. Everything feels a little hacky. Feels a little, I don't know, just unnecessary. I haven't come up with any good ideas on how to properly implement car chases. So yeah, wish list item. It's a frustrating point because I really want to make it work, but all the ideas I've thought of, I'm not happy with. Is the size of the map, if the size of the map is like 1 or 2 blocks, then there won't be need of vehicles like LA Noire. Exactly. Yeah. But you look at shit like a Vespa. See, that would be cool, but I don't know. Maybe I could put those in there because there are some places where it's like, yeah, you could get to the end of a street faster. It's not like fuck it, here, I'll just open this. London. Is this not going to open? There we go. So with London. Wow, this is taking forever to load in. Come on. Vespa would be really cool. I agree. Okay. So, yeah, like the maps are big enough to run around in and, potentially get you from one place to another faster. Like it would be cool to zoom across this park with a Vespa, or even just from the corner of the street to MI6. Because if you're spawning at one of these sort of like enter exit points of the city, it is going to take a second for you to get over there. It's not even running. There'd be times where you could want something like that. So it's not completely out of the question to have stuff like that. It's just right now I want to build a game where I won't have to rely on that. I don't want to build something where it's a necessary part of the game to have cars and stuff. Add a BMW, a car chase with it would be fucking hilarious. An Isetta? I don't know what a BMW Isetta is. Damn, it looks nice. The BMW or the world? Because I'm also like, I'm not sure who's seen some of this stuff, but London's coming along. I want to redo some of these trees. Also, everything always looks shitty in Blender before you put it into whatchamacallit, Unity. But yeah, I think it's coming together. Got Big Ben over there. Got Parliament, or not Parliament. I forgot what you call this place. The Westminster Palace. Anyways, getting sidetracked. Let's get back to this and this, and I think that's it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's small enough to drive in the grocery store. Yeah. I just realized you were going for a cartoonish approach for the game. Otherwise, I would have asked, did you think of using Unreal's MetaHuman project to make the camera models? It would be easier. Oh, yeah. I have no desire to ever... I basically have never had any game ideas where, like, I wanted to do realism. Realism is very unappealing to me. Like, even if I had all the money and all the stuff in the world, I don't know. It's just not my jam. Really not into realism stuff. But so far, character creation and stuff, it's a blast. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. The world, yeah, with in-game lighting shaders, it's gonna look great. Thank you, by the way, and yeah, I can't wait to fucking pop that in. So, to continue on this, gotta stay focused, gotta knock this out. Place du tertre, packing with NPCs is scary. There's, because I just haven't even thought about this kind of stuff yet, but there's something cool about portraits and painting. And because it's like you're painting a person, and I don't know, there's something cool there, and this is starting to get sort of in the superfluous scope creepy kind of way. So this is kind of like I'm gonna do watch out for scope creep. Okay, so I kind of don't even want to count that as a point. Are the textures finalized, or are they just placeholders? Well, right now they're about as final as they can get. Like in London and stuff, most of this stuff is pretty final. Like I said, I want to try redoing these trees. I'm not crazy about these trees. But most of these textures, yeah, most of them are final. Have you guys seen... I'll do this just because I can't help it. I can't fucking help it. Actually, no, I have a better idea. I'll show you these videos I have of... I'm just going to go on me for a second so I can open up the videos, and then yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, picture in picture, yeah. DC and London test, yeah, here we go. So yeah, like we were just talking about, it looks so much better when it's in engine. Especially with all the post-processing effects. I'm really trying to push this whole like Spielberg look. This video was captured at really low quality, so maybe it's not coming through the best. But these things completely change once they're in the lighting, post-processing filters. And once you're actually kind of moving through them, it's just fucking, I'm so happy with how this shit turned out. Even when you get really up close and personal to some of these things, because the texture resolution for all these is all minimum 1000, I've heard that that's not huge, but I'm using a ton of textures for everything that are all that big. Some of them are a little smaller, but most of them are in that 1000 by 1000 range. So everything feels pretty good even to get up close and personal with. Here's the library. Let's see. I need to swap out some of the textures in here because the backs of books are also the spines, so that's kind of funky and weird. So some of these things are going to get changed, And even this isn't even the one that has all the buildings in the background. So I just need to import that stuff from Blender. It's such a fucking pain in the ass. Importing FBXs from Blender to Unity is way easier with Cinema 4D. All right, but see, you can get pretty close to these things and it maintains some decent amount of detail. It gets lost again because of this goddamn H.264 encoding. What else? So yeah, even stuff like this, I love being able to get all up and close and personal with that rusty pipe, or with the little cement blocks for the car's parking spaces and everything. I love being able to get up close to that stuff. When I'm playing games, one of my favorite things is to really get in the nooks and crannies of exploring the world. And I don't know if it's sustainable. I don't know if it's scalable, but I'm going to try to make as many things in the game look really nice, even under scrutiny. The amount of polys or the mesh and everything, I'm not too concerned about that sort of stuff because it's intentionally stylized. But the textures, at least, I don't want to see too much pixelation or distortion. A little bit here and there doesn't bother me, but I want I don't know. It's a personal preference. I'm waiting for the light to get to the pool, I guess. Remember when I was modeling this hotel room or motel room? That toilet's got to get swapped out. I'm not crazy about that toilet. Come on, where's that light at? Yeah, here we go. A nice sunny day sitting by the pool. So this is all DC stuff. And then I have some London stuff here. Record shop. Even the carpet, you know, I love getting next to that carpet and seeing the weave of the material. The rug. And then Annabelle made all of these the wallpaper texture, which are hand drawn and then manipulated a little bit in post to make them tileable and stuff. Then we got the golden feathers. See, just like get all up in that fucking science business, you know, and like it holds up even when you're close to it. It's almost like a toy, you know. I don't know if you guys kind of get that feeling, but like, you know, toys are like stylized cartoonish toys are like simple and have like broad brushstrokes as far as like their shape and color palette goes. And you can, since they're a real fucking thing that you can hold, and you can actually hold them right up to your face, and like when you're playing with them as a kid, it's like even Legos, right? There's something that's just really nice about like I don't know, the tangibility of objects. I think in a lot of ways is tied to how clearly you can see them. Yeah, here's the pub. Got my boys chilling, having a little chat. All right. Fuck, I missed a bunch of messages. Just blah blah blah. The real blah 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 within game okay. All the textures is okay. Ever heard about the game called Jazz Punk? I think it would give you some nice inspiration ideas for your game. Yeah, I love Jazz Punk. Super funny game. I love that game. I played it like right when it came out. I played it again during the pandemic. It also has the 1960s espionage vibes to it. Total jam. Jacksepticeye played it as well. You know, after seeing those cars, I really want to drive them. Yeah, so do I. Isn't that so infuriating? I used to want to make, back when the game was something very different, I used to want to make this whole fucking mini game out of it. Yeah, I remember the hotel room stream. You were telling us about the feature where you have to find the target, right? Yep, which got implemented. Also, the corner record shop around and the bar is cool too. Thanks. Thank you. Indoor places look solid as fuck. Thank you. I can't wait to have more indoor places. That is like one of the most exciting things for me, is like being able to like literally just step through, you know. It's like, oh, there's actually shit inside, you know. World building is, God, it's so fun. I'm loving the textures. I can see stylized theme you're going for. Good. Cool. Thank you. Would you ever develop games for VR? I have developed games for VR. You could check out I made a game. I made Killbook 6900. It's on my itch page. That was like the first ever shot I ever kind of properly gave to VR stuff. OneNote. Okay. So, goddamn, I'm so easily distracted with you guys. So, yeah, scope creep is a scary thing for Place du Tetre. But if I take a look at it more, there is kind of good sneaking space, right? So, like, the noise of the world. Though, you know what is frustrating about this, though? It's a whole fucking section. It's not a building. It's not a place you can go into. I think shit, no, because that isn't a good reason to not do it. What would you model? You would model a bunch of like kiosks essentially, right? Maybe I can search in here. I love, let's see. Place du Tacha. Wait, how do you spell it again? Oh, okay. There we go. And then I'll search like 1960s. I don't know why these are opening as a separate. Yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe not. This is I think going to be a skip around. Yes, that's how I thought Cyberpunk was going to be. Every building would be walk-inable. Yeah, that would be nice. That's how I wanted to make this game back in the day, and then I realized that there just needed to be some facades. Thankfully, though, like it's still a small enough space where I think somewhere down the line I could try filling it out. That's the big thing here, is like everything I'm trying to do right now for this whole setting up what Paris is, it's what I want Paris to be fundamentally. It's what I want each of the cities to be fundamentally. At its core, they have these things, and that's mostly what you go there for or what you do there. And then somewhere down the line, I can add in little things to the facades, because all the facade stuff, I could just swap them out for an actual building. I could give them an actual interior later. But those will be afterthoughts. It'll just be sort of like wish list items and sort of, whatever inspiration hits later on. So fundamentally, I need to figure out what these things are first. Place du Tetra, I think has to go. Let's see. So I'm gonna strike that. Okay. So it really does come down, I think, to even the grocery store. I'm actually gonna cross that out. I think it's gonna have to be a grocery stand for sure. Jazz bar and restaurant. I need to come up with these functions. So you can't go in every building in Cyberpunk? I don't think so. I'm going to post my clouds as soon as they render, which should be in roughly 30 or 40 years at the rate it's going. Yeah. Good. I'm glad to see this. I'm very fucking curious to see that. Sick. I'm going to get these models, these like bikini models off of my screen. Let's see. Do I have any other restaurant? God, I love old pictures like this. I've been going crazy hanging out on Getty. Okay. So stuff like this is what I'm thinking. This whole scene here. Is this coming from a set? It's definitely coming from a set, but I just don't know where to find it. Yeah. What would the function of the restaurant be? Eating. Paris is usually considered to be a romantic place. Is there going to be a girlfriend mechanic or something where we flirt with a female bartender to get in for something? It could be anything. Yes. That's the whole relationship mechanic, which used to be wishlist item, but then I'm basically making my. I think so much of what's going to make this game special is really going to be the whole loved ones thing, and it's not just girlfriends. It's going to be a whole sort of like. Template that's applicable to anybody. So it's it's you could fall in love whatever your personal preferences are. There will be people who flirt with you in the game, and you could choose to pursue or not pursue them. Whether they are men or women is it's none of my business. Yeah, so that's a thing. It's not going to be some super deep skill tree stat shit. It's going to be more arcadified, but I also think it's going to be more rich than those games where it's just a bunch of stats and skill trees type setup for relationships. I think those are in a lot of ways very very superficial. I've never gave a shit about any of those characters who I've like built relationships with in games based off of like what I said to them from my dialogue tree choice. I'm going to be doing something kind of different that's closer to I don't know what it's like. You guys will see. I can't imagine a fully dating sim, to be honest. Yeah. The shape of the cloud is trash, but this isn't a final render. I think I'm where I want to be as far as volume goes, which is what I'm going for tonight. The shape of the cloud. Oh, okay, right. Yeah, that's kind of that's a thing that you really have to zero in on, right? Is the volume, how thin or full it feels. It sucks that you have to like wait to render to get better ideas of the volume of something. So the restaurant, some things that I'm thinking of is like the function of the restaurant. I think the function could be that like you could poison somebody at the cafe. You could totally poison somebody anywhere. But I think there's something special about the restaurant being somewhere where you could poison somebody in a more systematic way, in a more sort of concealed way, you know, because there's a longer sort of, it's actually the same chain of events. Actually, is it? It is very similar. It is kind of just a cosmetic difference. But there's something that feels more inspiring about poisoning somebody at a restaurant by like going into the kitchen and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to the cafe, which is like they make it all right in front of you. That's what it is. Is that like at a restaurant, the preparation of your food is black boxed. It's behind closed doors, kind of. Whereas in a cafe, they're doing it like right behind that counter. So it's a little trickier to do it there. So a restaurant, it's kind of like the setup is that if you can get into the kitchen area and poison somebody, you can get away with it a little bit more easily. Poison somebody, no, that's some cool Hitman stuff. Yeah, that's like Hitman's been fucking with these ideas for a long time. I really did not know it until like the middle of this year. It was my first time playing Hitman. So the kitchen. So, okay, I'm going to put that in the restaurant then. Is that a good function? Let's try that. Like, poison behind doors. Okay, and jazz bar, the function is what? When you go to a jazz bar, you're ordering drinks, you're talking to people there. You can see the show, you know, you're listening to the music. Oh. Okay. Frank Reynolds says, this cloud looks angry as fuck. I wanted that foreboding look like a storm is coming. An angry as fuck cloud. Right on. That's sick. I can't wait to see this. I think the function of the jazz bar... Oh, this could be actually really cool. Is twofold. One is meeting honeypots and relationships, and real relationships, I guess. And the other one is, it's kind of a single-use thing. Maybe the maybe the function should be like a list, right? So poison behind doors is that one. let's see if I can get 3 for each, and then pick one. It's so tempting to do both. God damn it. I should not, absolutely should not do that though. Meeting honeypots instead of, and also real relationships, but also shooting someone right on a drum beat. Right? So it's like, so when somebody hits the snare, if you fire your gun at that point, it can mask. So you can say like, oh shit, come on. Using drums to mask gunshots. That could be fucking cool. You can also hide in the dark here. Maybe what I need to search also is like jazz bar. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be a Parisian jazz bar. It just has to be any kind of jazz bar. Maybe though, if I search 1960s. I never played a Hitman game, which is weird because it sounds like my jam. You know what? Like, same. It took this year. I barely played Hitman. Like, somewhere at the beginning of this year was the first time I'd ever tried it. Or even like kind of in the middle of this year, like closer towards my birthday, I think. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of crazy too. It's like I was getting to it and I was like, this would have definitely informed how I was thinking about Memories of a Spy. But it's funny because you kind of see how somebody handles systems. Like you think of the same systems, right? Because it's a very similar setup. It's a very similar premise. But it's really interesting to see how somebody else handled that system for like a different flavor of gameplay. Very, very, very similar. But it's like I never would have thought to implement things in the way they did. Very fascinating game. I'm starting on my new project for my son. The other project was too plain and didn't have much. I learned a lot more and found better assets than I needed. Right on. What is it? What's your new one that you're making? What is everyone doing for Thanksgiving? I'm gonna go see my folks. I might stream though. I kind of wanted to stream a little bit on Thanksgiving as well, like a Thanksgiving night stream, maybe even in the morning. Razor says, I have this idea of replayability where you travel from city to city, right? But after like poisoning someone, the whole restaurant gets more security and they shut down and you have to use another method. So similarly, I think, you know, if you were there for that one where like I programmed the whole, like if you're in somebody's space and then the NPC goes and like they get the phone to call the police, right? Remember that whole thing where it was like, I was like, shit, now I have to program the police coming and everything. I thought that same system could be sort of implemented for if you burn a place down, because I would want to make sort of like fire that could spread and shit and like burn a place down. And the system that I was thinking is like, oh, you could burn a place down, but then the place closes and a construction team goes inside and like closes, you know, wood panels it up from the outside or from the inside. And then like a few days go by and when they're done, it's back to normal. And so like the conditions of it change, but now when you go back, there's like a heightened security where like a cop hangs out there or something. That's Razor Edits. That's exactly the kind of stuff that's like, those are just the type of things that I'm thinking about. Damn, we can really cause havoc in this game. I would like to get to that. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, we'll see how far that fire gets. I might just make it so things catch on fire temporarily, turn black, and then like somebody comes and replaces them. You know, so there's like simpler ways to handle it. But I was just pitching that as like, because yeah, you're totally on the right track as far as the kind of things that happen in this game. Are you a JavaScript coder? I'm not. I wrote some things in Java recently, or earlier this year, to try some stuff out. But no, I barely even knew what I was doing today when I wrote my first custom action. So, Jazzbar, the functions are meeting funny pots and making relationships, using drums to mask gunshots, hiding in the dark, and then the function of a restaurant is you can poison behind doors. Hide under tables. Hide under tables with tablecloth, right? What else? Let's see. Fancy restaurant, 1960s. Oh, look, memories of a spy in real life. Fucking Las Vegas. So ですね。This is more like a club, huh? Oh, this is Restaurant Maxim in Paris. Interesting. I'm not really a holiday person. I don't know why, but I just can't get into them. But my dad almost died a couple of weeks ago. He recovered and is doing much better, so tomorrow is going to be special. Right on. That's, yeah. That's good cause to link up. That can recontextualize the shit out of a holiday for me, too. Razor Edit says, stealth games like this is my jam. I will buy it when it comes out for sure. I hope I finish this game. I hope I finish this game so you could play it. I would love to watch you play this game if you're that excited about it. I don't want to let you guys down. Fucking man. Oh God. I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's not real yet, you know? So every day I hope I can finish this damn thing. Skinny Bandit says 2 a.m. here. I'm gonna catch some sleep. Have some fun with the rest of the stream, dude. Hopefully you're gonna get some more ideas. Have a good one. Thank you. Yes, thank you, and get some good rest. 2 a.m.'s a late one. Catch some of those Z's. Thanks for swinging by, Skinny Bandit. So I picture the fancy restaurant as being pretty well lit during the day and at night. I don't actually see it as being dim ever. Oh man, this is a tough one. Gosh. Ooh, I'm rooting for it. The thing is, I never lose hope for it. No matter how many days how many days pass, you still stream for it, so it keeps my hopes high. Yeah. Thank you. I gotta stay resilient. I gotta just, even during long breaks, it's as long as I come back to it, right? I mean, it only makes sense. I just gotta keep going. Like on a long enough timeline, I should finish this game as long as I keep this, managing scope stuff. Most of the systems are already running, or like I would say like almost. I don't know about most, but a lot of the main systems run. So it's in good shape. This is kind of an interesting place. But the one I keep going to is this one. Where is this? Petite Prave. Pave? Pravi. Copy. Let's see. Here we go. This is what I'm thinking of. Ooh, like a little piano in there. Okay. I think I have my answer. Because the restaurant, the thing is, nothing's really coming to me as quickly as it did with the jazz bar. And the restaurant, that is cool to hide. Oh, you know what? You could fucking hide under tables. Do that in the jazz bar too. It doesn't just have to be the restaurant. I think the jazz bar wins. Restaurant is a no-go. I'm crossing this one out. Okay. A decision has been made. Small steps are still steps forward. Absolutely. That is my shit right there. Small steps are still steps forward. Jazz bar it is. Let's fucking do it. Oh, God. Now I gotta... Holy shit. Holy shit. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I realized your stream was missing something. Are you able to add background music? Right now I don't have any background music. I was thinking about that earlier. Because usually I do the, or not usually, but I started doing the thing where I have the stream music channel. You know what? I'm very down for that. Tony Hamilton, good call. If you want to tune in to the stream music channel, I'll start streaming some music to that. So I think what I have to do is voice and video, and I'll change the input device to this so it doesn't actually hear my voice, and then I'll play some music for y'all and myself so I could stay in the zone. All right, so since we're going to a jazz bar, let's listen to some fucking jazz. I'm gonna put the camera on my face for a second just while I pull up my YouTube stuff. Just webcam. Okay, we're gonna be making a jazz bar, so it's only appropriate that we get some jazz going. Let's see. Let's do devlog, dev stream, OST references. Cool. And this looks good to me. Oop. Okay. Just gotta change my sound settings really quick. Sound. Just a second. I'm almost there, folks. Speakers, Yeti microphone, cool. I'm gonna pop in my headphones. Shadow is Light says, hey, what's up, Shadow is Light? I am just setting up the music, getting some jazz going. You could join in the Discord's music streaming channel, because this shit is gonna be all sorts of copyright, and yeah. So this is our way to get all jazzy as I collect references and stuff for our jazz bar. So you could see. I'm gonna press. Stream music. Picture. If you guys hop over to the stream music channel, you should be able to hear some of this jazz if you're interested in listening to it. But this is the headspace, the vibe, the zone that I'm going to be in while I'm going through all these images. So let me minimize some of this stuff, and I can't minimize that, so I'll just put this over it. Cool. Get this. All right, what do we got here? I realize your stream, okay, blah, blah, blah. How is the gunplay going to be like? Are there going to be consequences if you make a big mess? And when you go into the next mission, there will be higher security. So right now, the scoped down version is that when you shoot things up, it causes attention. You can't just kill a bunch of innocent people because the agency that you work for is constantly watching you, and also there are just systems in the world like police. You know, so if you go murdering a bunch of people, police don't really care. If you work for the government, they're gonna try to stop you from killing innocent people. Likewise, you might have a hero where like just some civilian decides to step up and play hero and save the day and stop you from killing a bunch of innocent people. And this kind of thing will happen even if you're attacking and trying to kill like a proper villain, a terrible person, a murderous human being. Because they don't realize that you're an agent trying to like, you know, whatever, stop some Soviet spy from destroying the world or whatever. What they see is just a person attacking another person. So that's going to be a thing. The thing I mentioned about like, you know, having security if you burn down a place and all that kind of stuff, that's total wish listy. That's just me brainstorming shit from that time we were designing the NPC that calls the cops stuff. But cops and hero civilians, all that kind of stuff, that I think is at least the bare minimum. Is you know, the player should be very much disincentivized naturally. I don't want to just pause the game and put a big warning on it that says like, hey, you know, you can't do that. Like, that's not how you play the game. Instead, I just want the world to react accordingly. So if the player wants to put up with all that shit and wants to sort of get through all of the hassle that comes with, you know, being very chaotic, then they can. So yeah. Shadows Light. Hey, Shadows Light. I am up to well, hopefully you know what I'm up to now. I'm about to go through and in fact, let me open the thing up so I remember what I'm actually doing. I'm going to be filling this out for Paris. So what this is my document that I share with Tubinar Studios, who is helping me design a lot of the assets of the game. And I'm going to be trying to crank out as much stuff as I can for this sheet, because this next month, it sounds like he and I are going to do round 2 and really, you know, pull Memories of a Spy's worlds together. Because I think we have like 2.5 out of 6. So we're at the halfway point right now, pretty much. As soon as Paris is done, like, yeah, we're going to be in it. So a person playing more stealthily, rather going Doomslayer modes, guns blazing. Yeah, so the game kind of naturally suggests that to you, that perhaps the best way to play, just like real life, you know, like spies in real life aren't going around causing a bunch of havoc. Like so much of espionage is wrapped up around sort of it being inconspicuous and sort of blending into the rest of the world and appearing as if you were never even there. Snake Jazz. Show. This shit is nuts. I love it. It's like jazz on cocaine. Yeah, Rococo Jazz. This album. I started listening to this album when I was in Paris. I found it over there when I was just looking for new music to inspire me for the game. And now I listen to it all the goddamn time. Sounds like a GTA NPC in a nutshell. Yeah, the way the NPCs are gonna react, very much inspired by growing up playing GTA. Rusty Chicken says, "Hiya fam, what's up, Rusty? How's it going?" Frank also says, "Hey Rusty," and then what's up, Frank? Sometimes I always feel just a little silly reading the comments that you guys are writing to each other. But hey, I'll be a good sport about it. So, how's it going, Rusty? How you doing? And Shadows Light, also, how are you doing? How's it going? Let's see. Even this one, that sounds still a little bit too, not a little bit of not pompous, but it's very light, very sort of like bourgeois, right? I forgot what the actual original classical piece is. If you're tuned in still. But even this one gets a little wacky. It gets a little fucking crazy. Okay. first things first, I gotta put it in here. I gotta just add the actual value. So we're gonna insert a row above, and we're gonna say this is gonna be called the jazz bar. All right, I'll come up with a name for it later, because right now we just need to take care of research and reference photos. So top of the thing is the exterior, and then we have, I'll add in a few of these. Insert cells and shift down, one row above, I guess. It's probably a more efficient way, but I don't want to look up how to use spreadsheets right now. Right, so you have the exterior building, right? And then you have the interior building, and then the rest of these I'll fill out as I actually look at the references. So I need to actually look up jazz bar, and I'm probably gonna have to hop over to Google Images because Getty isn't totally giving me what I'm looking for right now. This is kind of okay. Working on a game as usual. Shadows Light says Ben learning animation and Unity particle system. Right on. You guys are just grinding. Love it. Hope you're also taking breaks. Trying to make that RPG more robust. That's so fucking crazy. So for all you guys who don't know, Rusty did that like week game dev challenge thing that I think I've seen a few people going around doing this during the same time, where I don't know if it's just a coincidence. It sounded like maybe Rusty was doing his own thing, but like I think there was kind of like a thing going on, right, where people were making like a game in a week. So Rusty did an RPG, and it's like super fully like fleshed out and stuff like that. So now he's just kind of running with it because it's like in a good place. Razor Edit says, what takes more time, coding or making models? Depends, man. Totally depends. Do you have a more specific version of that question? Like, is it something? Are you asking for any my game, your game, and other people's games, or my game specifically? Like, is there a city or like a when during production? It changes between when I first started the game and now. It depends on a lot. Show. Particle systems are my bitch. Oh, Rusty. Just tearing it up. Shadows Light says models. Is that the models from a coder standpoint? Depends on language. Oh, right. Shadows Light is saying models. Now I have crazy ass Jazz, the Pixies, and you. It's fucking insanity. Hold on, did I miss some stuff? Okay. Take Memories of Spy, for example. Look at the Discord. I put up some videos on YouTube as well. Right on. Memories of Spy at the beginning. It was taking longer for me to make models because I wasn't really sure what to be making, and I wasn't really narrowing in on the art direction. I was kind of figuring out what the art direction was. And I mean, also on that, by the same token, also at the beginning of production, I was learning Playmaker, so there's a lot of systems that I was barely figuring out. I was barely using Sensor Toolkit and all that kind of shit. So definitely got faster now. So it changes with skill too. But at this point, currently, as things stand, I actually don't have too much of a thing of a. What do you call it? A metric. I don't really have too much of a metric, a solid metrics to go by as far as like, how do you, it's kind of apples and oranges, because frame it like this. If I made a radio, right, I could model a radio model and texture it and do that relatively quickly, right? Let's say if I really went balls out on it, it might take me an hour, but more than likely it'll probably take me like, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And most of that time I'm looking for reference images. What do I want it to look like? And I'm kind of dialing that in. But once the thing is done, then I'm giving it functionality. And a part of the programming is tied to, like so many different things. It's like, it depends on what exactly it is that I'm programming. Because if I want the radio to play music and you just turn it on and it plays music, then all I have to do is make it so it turns on. And that's simple. I could probably program that in like less than 5 minutes. But if I want to make it so it plays like a little static sound when you twist a dial that changes the actual station, that might take me like an hour to figure out. I'm not, I can't even think about that at the top of my head right now, but I can kind of begin to imagine systems where you can make a dynamic radio that way. And I think, maybe I could do that in an hour, maybe 2 if I like really hit a snag because some weird logic shit. So maybe the answer is programming, because once you make an asset, then giving it life is really sort of where, for me at least, I end up sinking all my time into. That's why even right now I want to just make these assets first, because once they're done, then it's just like a playground for me, because now I just have the thing that I could make come to life. And that's where I'll sink in a ton of time. So individual assets don't take so long. The programming of that individual asset really just depends on what it's meant to do. Because if I'm modeling a vase with a bunch of flowers in it, it might actually take me a minute to decide like, okay, like how I want the flowers to work out, what the stems and the petals actually look like, and if I'm using a double-sided shader and all that kind of stuff. But if its only purpose is to sit there and knock over in the game, then there isn't really too much programming to it other than putting a rigid body component and like a collider on it. In which case, like, the modeling would have taken longer. So I hope that kind of gives an idea of like how extremely contextual it is. Similarly, I could model a phone. You could check how long it took me, because we had the stream of me modeling the phone. However that long took, you can compare that to the part of the streams where I gave it the functionality to like call somebody. And then also like, well, what if I wanted the phone to actually use voice chat communication? So you could be on a headset with a friend where if you're playing multiplayer, you pick up the phone, then it connects your headset voice chat to your friend's headset voice chat if he's on the phone too. So that might take me all fucking day, maybe a whole weekend. I don't know. I've never done voice chat programming, so highly contextual. Models from a coder standpoint depends on the language. I need to check out your game, Rusty. Take my response, for example. Look at the Discord. I put some videos. YouTube there, Frank. Okay, Steven, back to database. Thousands of items to go. Right on. Have fun, man. I'm going to computer engineering, and after that, I'm gonna go for game development. So I just had some queries. Right on. I hear you. Okay. Very parched. I'm gonna get through this. Okay. Jazz bar. Here we go. Let's see. What do we want this jazz bar to look like? I know I want my jazz bar to be... I like this stage setup. Not a fan of that one. Let's see. You know what I kind of have in my head? It's not even really a jazz bar, but it's like I have the inside Llewyn Davis bar. I might look that up, because so far I'm not really feeling any of these. Let's just go straight to Google Images and search 1960s jazz bar. Would you search jazz club? Maybe that's what I need to do. Jazz club. I want it to be small. I want it to be really intimate. Give it a small stage. But I want it to also have space for the people to, I want it to feel good for people to be around it too. see this kind of shit. A little square table. That's cool. I'm also thinking of a Key and Peele sketch where they play trumpets. I think that might be what I actually go for first as far as references go. I'm going to look at a couple more here. This is basketball. I don't know how. Jazz club? Oh, right. The team jazz. God damn it. Come on. Ugh. Go to page 50. Let's see. This is kind of getting closer. Yeah, see, you know what? I want some shit with, like, drapes. Oh, I should just search fucking Chet Baker Club. Because this is really what I'm picturing, too, is like, aha, like this. Look at that. That's a good one. A little balcony, maybe. These are okay. These are okay. Shadows Light says, I got another idea for the Mario Kart clone for you, Steve. Let's say there's a death tag game mode where the player in last got a bomb and got to give the player in front the bomb before it explodes. That's a good one. Do they have that in Mario? They don't have that feature in Mario Kart, huh? That's a pretty good one. What is the trial, or I don't know, weird sound effect I hear on this share screen on Discord? Oh, is it go like, this is a trial or some shit like that? You know what that is? Let me let's see, voice and video. There. It should go away now. Let me know if that helps, Janjiro. I think it's because I was using my, like, virtual line thing. Also, is the... That's still up, right? Yeah, okay, good. Sweet. Last one standing and first one across finishing line gets first place. Wait, last one standing and first one across finish line gets first place. Right. So it is like it's a process of elimination thing. Right. That's a good one. I like that. Ooh, this is... I think we just saw this one too. You know, a big thing too I'm seeing with some of these jazz bars, they got the low ceiling. I like the low ceiling. Let's check some of these out. Got a palm tree inside. Brick wall, right? Interior brick walls. Yep, fixed. Okay. Sweet. Ooh, the photos on the wall. That's a good one. You go to a jazz bar and they have all the photos on the wall of everybody who's played there before, which would be so good because it's going to be all these, like, fucking stick figure photos. The cloud is taking forever. Can't wait to see what it's like to render my entire scene during compositing. I don't know if it's kind of in the cards for you, but also, Frank, have you considered cloud rendering? Some services, like, I remember I used to use Octane for rendering stuff, and they had a cloud renderer. Oh my god. So parched. See, look how close quarters this seating is. Like, you are just cramped in these places, which is kind of cool. I went to a pretty cramped jazz bar while I was in Paris, actually. Not like super cramped, but I remember being like, I was like sitting on like a tall stool and like, but it's cozy, it's cool. Let's see. I think I could start taking some shots at, let's see. Yeah, I'll look up the, ooh. Okay. I'll try something like this. I think I'm going to look up that Key and Peele sketch. Oh, also got to have the lights, right? Open image, new tab. The Key and Peele sketch is probably going to be fruitful, so I'm going to put it on my face for just a second. Hello. And then I'm going to search Key and Peele jazz. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. And then we're going to go stream picture in picture. Okay. I'm going to put this kind of on top of it. And actually, I'm going to play this at just because I don't want to get flagged. I think a lot of my answers are probably going to be in the wide shot of things, so let's see. Not these close-ups, but right. Probably at the beginning and the end of this. Yeah, it's only at the beginning and end. Okay. So they have little circle tables, little candles on them. They got the spotlight thing, and then of course there's the bar on the side. Oh, and then they have those, right, those little cushiony leather doors. Okay, all right, so maybe that wasn't the best one. What about inside Llewyn Davis bar? Okay. Let's see. Right here. So they got like a cobblestone wall. Let's see what we got here. Sorry, note that idea down with the pictures on the wall. Right. Good call, John Jero. Where the fuck is Paris? This is Paris, jazz bar. Pictures on wall. Right. And all my questions might not be getting annoying, but are we gonna have some cool spy? Oh, so many cool spy gadgets. That's, again, I'll end up on a fucking crazy tangent. I can't wait to show you guys more spy gadgets. Most of it is going to be based in real world shit. So if you look up real spy gadgets, like a lot of them, if you, on Google lists or like books and fucking all sorts of things, they all talk about like the same dozen to 25 or so spy gadgets in history. There's like 20 really famous spy gadgets that like they talk about in TV shows, on listicles, articles, and in books and stuff like that are really fucking cool. And so if you find one of those lists, look through them, and odds are like Memories of a Spy will have it. And they're so simple to program. It's all about just the implementation. Like the game is not mechanically complex. It is. So expect lots of cool spy gadgets. I will definitely check that out. Dusty Wee says, "What up, muchacho? What's up, Dusty Wee? How's it going?" I'm doing okay. I'm over here researching jazz clubs, jazz bars. We can hear the music. Hope that wasn't copyright. Oh, show. Wait, can you hear this current jazz on the stream though? No, right? Okay. I'm not tripping, right? Okay. Not the Discord one, no. Okay, perfect. Cool. Yeah, I was kind of skimming through this. I should have totally muted it out for a second. Hopefully they don't fuck me for that. I was playing it at 2x speed too, so hopefully it's even less recognizable. Not currently. Okay, right on. Righteous. Let's see. So yeah, I mean the bar. It's a very straightforward setup. I think I think I have an idea. I think I have an idea of how this is gonna go. So I can close this out. And actually, since most of that will be on me, I don't have to worry about too much of the interior and exterior building stuff, because I'll highlight these columns and then I'll make this blue, because those are things that Tubinar Studios will not do, and these are things that I will do instead. So pictures on the wall. Let me grab that right here. Is this it? I feel like there was another one, huh? This was it. So I'll take this link, and then in the pictures on the wall, I say, yeah, varying frame sizes, right? And I select all that, Control K, paste in that image link, hit enter, and I'll write a note like, you know, center poly, center of frame should be a single quad poly that I can map images to. So that's like really straightforward, right? Yeah, need at least 3 sizes / aspect ratios: wide, tall, square. Okay. So got pictures on the wall. What else do I need here? Oh, mic stand. So I think this might be something. What do older mic stands look like? A lot of these jazz clubs didn't even necessarily have. Oh, here we go. But what is the year of this one? 1978. Yeah, it's a little too late for me. Let's say jazz club 1960s. And I just need to find one that has some mic setup, like this maybe. Or this one. The render is almost finished. I'll post it as soon as it's finished being a slow bitch. No rush, my man. Stoked to see it. Very exciting. I've been waiting to see what kind of stuff you've been working on. The last thing I remember seeing your speakeasy. That was like a long ass time ago. Ah, here we go. Look at these mics. Perfect close up of these mics. These ones too. So I'll have a mic for. Is there any of these other ones that stand out to me though? Like, do I just use one of these? Do I go full blown? You do, huh? You can't do that other shit. You got to do these mics. I don't know what I was thinking. It has to be one of these. Okay, I'll snag that right now. Here we go. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, this is a good one. Okay, so open image, new tab, close this one, take the link to it, and then I'll say standing mic. Or you know what I'll do? I'm gonna call this, yeah. Standing mic. So I'll do this in 2 parts. This will have the mic head, right? And I'll paste in the link for that, comma. And then I'll do a separate image for the mic stand, which is closer to these ones. These aren't very good reference images, though, for those mic stands. I could just Google, this is a Google search job. Vintage mic stand. In fact, I should probably be using Google Images for more of this because it's probably going to have more direct results. Do I want one with an articulating arm? Or do I just have it 1960s? Okay, I'll give them this. Yeah, this is good. Copy image address, and then I'll paste it in to make sure it works. Okay, there it is. So next to mic head, I'll also have mic stand, and then paste that in. Make the head separate from stand. Stand arm into pieces so the arm can articulate. Okay. And then what else do we got? So then you need the jazz the jazz band instruments. So let's see. Do like a vintage stand-up bass. Or actually, you know what? 1960s jazz band. And let's see if we can get all of them in a single image. Throat is so parched. You have to have some weed on that jazz club. Drugs are very much on the table, I have to say. Ooh, fuck. Okay. I haven't thought so much about weed in the game, but I was thinking about psychedelics. Drugs always find their way into my games. Excuse me. Or sorry. So I want to give him a good reference. I mean, instruments don't really change too much, do they? If I just search like a 1960s jazz drums kit. Let's just like go with it, I guess. Copy image address. Does it work? Yes. And I can come over here and say drum kit. Drums. Okay. Paste that in. Cool. And then we also want 1960s jazz trumpet. I know that there's only one type of trumpet, but you know. Are there any good pictures where it's just the thing? Here we go. Feel like this seems like a good one, huh? Or is this a better one? This is probably better. Copy image address. Try it out. Works. Come over here. trumpet, trumpet. Okay, now let's insert some of these. Row above, row above. Okay. Piano. What kind of there's, I know there's so many different, like it's a kind of a, I guess what I'm thinking of is like let's find out what kind they have. Do you do, this is a grand piano, right, where the top opens? Do you do a grand, or do you do one of those cabinet, like those stand-up ones? What kind do you do? How about this? 1960s jazz grand piano. You should do a VR game course with Playmaker. Oh, trust me, that's very top of mind. Dusty Wee. It's very top of mind. I don't know if I'm gonna do that one next, but I think it's a much needed thing. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. See, you also have this, like, I forget, what is this kind? Upright piano. That's what I was thinking of. Like, do you do I think upright might be more appropriate for like a little club. Right? Because having a baby grand is still like, or how big can a baby, let's see, 1960s baby grand. Baby grand piano. Oh, shit. Maybe it is a, you know what, baby grand. Maybe that's small enough. Okay, copy image. Comes with a stool and everything. What if I do 1960s jazz? Does it give it a little bit more flavor? Does it give us a different stool? Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that first one. Put the cloud up on Discord. Righteous. All right. You know what? And I'm gonna, so here's the thing, is I'm gonna wrap up, I'm gonna get this band stuff down, and then I'm actually gonna wrap up the stream, and I'm gonna hop off and check out everything that y'all put on Discord. Frank, I think yeah, so you put a thing on Discord. Some other things are awaiting in the channels. Stoked to see that. Petite grand piano? Nah. Okay, I'm gonna put that first one. That first one was good. This one, right? This. Copy image address, and then I'll put in baby grand piano. And then here is 1. Paste it in, comma, enter, because I want to give him different angles just in case. He needs that information from the back too. What if I search like back? Right here. It's kind of hard to find that angle. This is okay, I guess. Copy image address. Okay, I think that's good for. So you have a drum kit, a trumpet, a baby grand. What else would you want? Saxophone. Oh, stand-up bass. Here we go. 1960s stand-up bass, which is a cello. Doesn't make any difference if I put jazz in here. Excuse me. There's a stand-up bass in this track right now. It's so good. Looks like this might be a good one. Okay. I'll take this because it shows the back. Copy image address. Do this. Stand-up bass. And then we'll call this one back. Okay, and then I need one for the front. It's hard to find one with good perspective. You know, I'm trying to find good reference images for like scale and proportions, not just the style. The style is like, it's such a classic and uniform thing. I'm not really tripping about that, but I want a good angle to give perspective and dimension. Damn, none of these are the angle I want. Ah, here we go. I want like this 2/3 angle. I think that's okay. Yeah. Copy image address. Make sure this works. Okay, brilliant. Stand-up bass, back, front. Okay. Drum kit, trumpet, baby grand piano, stand-up bass. Those are honestly the main things that I want. I could put sax in there, but I'm gonna keep it scaled down. We're gonna just have that. I think that's pretty good. Okay, and so that's this evening's stream. I'm gonna be doing the rest of this. Maybe I might hop back on stream if I'm like. It's definitely takes some energy, takes some effort to do this on stream. I feel like I might be able to move a little faster if I just take the night to myself. So thanks to everybody who swung by, everybody who posted something in the Discord. I'm going to check it right now. Hopefully, Frank, whatever you're posting in is in there soon enough. I'm stoked to see it. And if you're tuned into this music right now on the music stream channel of the Discord, what a jam. I fucking love this. This is good sign-off music. If only I could use it in the actual stream. Yeah, thanks for swinging by, everybody. Let's take a quick recap. We have Frank in the chat, Dusty Wee, John Jarrow is here, Razor Edits is here, Shadow is Light, Rusty. Who else? Tony Hamilton. Let's get this chat way up here like this. Tony Hamilton, Skinny Bandit, Moody Bears dipped in for just a second. I don't know if Moody Bears is still here. Asked me if I was a JavaScript coder. Sorry, I actually didn't even realize. Yeah, Moody Bears. I should ask you how you're doing. How's it going? If you're still in here, Moody Bears, what's up? Is this your first time in the chat? Because I feel like I would recognize that screen name. Yeah, Skinny Bandit, Tony Hamilton. Who else? Mastifu and Two Sided Games also dipped in for a second. And Dio. Oh, and also let's not forget who kicked it all off. I'm Faded, which is just bravo on that screen name. Yeah, so thanks to everybody tuned in. Take care of yourselves. Have a very good night or afternoon, morning, whatever it is, wherever it is for you. Get some exercise, even if it's just going for a walk. Drink lots of water. Don't let yourself dehydrate. You know, if you're feeling parched, that means you're already dehydrated. You know, you start getting dehydrated before you even feel like you're thirsty. It's a weird way your body works, but that's just how it is. So keep drinking plenty of water. Don't drink too much. You can also die of overhydration, which is something that's fucking weird. And anyways, I'm sure you won't drink too much water. But also cool it on the booze, cool it on the dope. You know, don't do that shit before you go to sleep because it fucks with how well you how well rested you are. Don't eat too much, don't eat too little. You know, eat some vegetables, man. They don't taste the best for some of y'all, but it's legit. It's good for you. Get some veggies in, and don't overeat for sure. What else? Just get some good sleep. 8 hours of sleep is solid. If you can get 6, that's okay too. Spend time with the people that you love, your friends and family. Hang out with them one-on-one. Millions of years of evolution has sort of primed you to sort of play by the same rules. However antisocial or detached you feel from the world, it's good to be in the same room as another human being who you love. So do that. Yeah. Okay, everybody, take care of yourselves. I'll catch y'all very, very soon. Hope you learned something. Hope you had a good time. Junjo says, agreed. Dusty Wee gives a wave. Frank says, take it easy, my dude. Thanks, y'all. I'll see you in the Discord. Peace, peace, peace. Peace.